Hi everybody and welcome for joining me on this special edition. This is the Beatles official tag for 2025 and it's been done by A Little Beatles Corner. So please check out that channel, A Little Beatles Corner. It's a wonderful lady that runs it. Her name is Patricia. She's been part of the BC Beatle community for just over a year now. And I think Rachel's Ghost suggested that she has a go at doing this Beatles tag. So anybody that's interested in the Beatles or has got a Beatles channel, come on, let's all get behind Patricia and let's see if we can make this sort of thing go viral for her. So it's 15 questions. You've got to remember it is just a little bit of fun. So I've got my granddad glasses on already. I thought I'd put my Sergeant Pepper uniform on just to make it seem a little bit more Beatley. So remember, this is the official Beatles tag for 2025. Right, so your favourite Beatles holiday song. So you've got to pick one of the songs that John, Paul, George, or Ringo has released as a solo artist at Christmas time. And this was quite hard. It was a toss up between two of them, but I've gone for Happy Christmas, War Is Over by John, Yoko, and the Plastic Ono Band. This is the UK version from 1972. I think this came out slightly later than in the UK, America, and this is on green vinyl. I picked this one because I think the sentiment and everything on this one is absolutely fantastic. The one that I nearly picked, if you can't already guess, was Wonderful Christmas Time. Again, that is a fantastic song. Uh, very, very poppy, but I think that John and Yoko's Happy Christmas, War Is Over just beats it. Again, that's just in my personal opinion. Uh, Number two, your favourite Beatles album cover from any country in the world. So you can have American copies, you can have British copies, you know, Mexican copies, Canadian copies. I've gone for one of my favourites. This probably is my favourite Beatles album cover anyway, and it is Revolver. I'll just take it out, it shrinks so you can see it a bit better. Revolver. This is an original 1966 pressing. It's a second pressing. It isn't the one that's got the alternative version of Tomorrow Never Knows. But I just think that is an absolutely fantastic album cover. Some might say Sergeant Pepper and things like that, but to me, that is the best album cover. Again, that is just my humble opinion. You might not agree, and you probably don't. But remember, it's just a little bit of fun. Right, question 3. Show your favourite Beatles coloured vinyl or picture disc. I've got quite a few picture discs and I've got quite a few coloured vinyl. I'm a bit like Beatle Brad. I love my coloured vinyl, so I've gone for the White Album, and this is on black vinyl. No, it's not. It's on white vinyl. Look at that. Lovely. This is a French pressing. You can get a UK copy of this, but it costs you a hell of a lot of money. Um, yeah, and the sound quality on that is excellent as well. Put that there, that there. I'm going to cop this up onto somewhere along the way. I know I am. Right, number 4. Show your favourite Beatles 45 picture sleeve, again, from any country. Um, I've gone with this one. Now, in the UK, in the 1960s, we only got 2 Beatles singles with picture discs. All the rest came in like company sleeves. We got Strawberry Fields Forever, Straight Penny Lane, and then we got Let It Be. Didn't get any other official picture sleeves. So I've gone for this one. This is the Beatles Get Back with Don't Let Me Down, and this is from Israel. It is on Apple, and it does have the UK catalogue number just there. This was a gift off my friend Mr. Ellie, more of who you will probably hear about in a few questions' time. Wonderful, wonderful gift. Fantastic sounding record and quite rare. This next one was a bit weird. So this is question 5. Show your favourite from the last 3 Beatles singles and then rank them. So this is like Free as a Bird, Real Love and Now and Then. Again, this is quite a hard one because I like them all. But I've gone, for today, on this one, I've gone, at number 1 is Now and Then. Mainly because I think the sentiments and the way this has been cleaned up is absolutely fantastic. I mean, purists will say none of these 3 singles are technically Beatles singles, but they are. Yes, we don't know how much involvement George had in this, but he must have had some involvement for Olivia to let it be released. That's what I'm going to say on that. Very, very haunting song. And when I watch the video, I'll put this on. The hairs on the back of my neck still go up even now. So that was number 1. Number 2, I've gone for Free as a Bird, which was the first of these like Union singles, wasn't it? Fantastic song. Again, if they did it today, they could probably make it sound a little bit better, but you've got to remember this was released in 1995, I think. So it was recorded in 1994, maybe even earlier. I still think that is a fantastic single. You know, whatever anybody thinks, as long as I like it, it doesn't matter. And we've got to rank them. And then the third one, which doesn't necessarily mean this is the one I like the least, but it's just the way you've got to do it, is Real Love. In some ways, maybe I should have done these other way around. Free as a Bird I do like, and I think the video is absolutely fantastic. Real Love I like, but I don't think the video is quite as good as Free as a Bird. They're all fantastic singles in my opinion, and you do get bonus tracks and things on the B-side. So, yeah, so that is my 1, 2, 3 of the Beatles reunion singles. So what we're on now? Right, your most question 6 is show your most unusual Beatles vinyl or compact disc. Well, I wasn't quite sure what that meant, to be honest. I have watched a couple of people's videos, so I'm just going to go with this, Abbey Road. And you're probably saying, well, there's nothing unusual about that, is there, Dave? And to a certain extent, you are right. There isn't anything unusual about it, apart from when you take a closer look at it. In the cover and everything looks identical to any Abbey Road you can get anywhere in the world. But this is on yellow and black parlophone label. And this is the only copy I've ever seen of this, ever. And it's not a UK export copy, as some people thought when I've shown it before. It is actually made in India, so it's an Indian pressing. Again, very rare. Um, you know, in all my years of collecting, that is the only one I've ever seen. There's another Indian version of it where it is on the Apple label, and that is, I've been told that is worth quite a lot of money. So I'd say that is the most sort of like unique or unusual Beatles record in my collection. Question 7 is show a Beatles single that has a better B-side than the A-side. Again, this is very, very hard. I love all the Beatles singles, the A-sides and the B-sides, and I'm just going from the British issues here. So I've gone for this single, Paperback Writer. Now, I'm not saying that the B-side is better than it, but I think this is a case where it could have been a double A-side, like We Can Work It Out and Day Tripper. The B-side of this was actually Rain. When the rain comes, the run and at their heads. I mean, that has got to be one of the best Beatles B-sides ever. And like I say, I think that would have been an ideal double A-sided single, like Strawberry Fields Forever and Penny Lane. You know, We Can Work It Out, Day Trip, and things like that. Fantastic, really, really fantastic pairing. it's definitely worthy of being an A side, in my opinion. But I'd say a double A side, if you know what I'm saying. Of course you do, don't you? Right, number 8 is show your favourite Beatles song that was covered by another artist. Now, there's quite a few. Um, I've watched, I say I've watched a couple. I think I've watched, including Patricia's, I've watched 3 of these tags. So I'm going for an album that everybody seems to hate, which is Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, but this is to the movie of the same name, which you either like it or you hate it. Most people absolutely hate it, although there's some good performances on it. And I've gone for Come Together by Aerosmith. I think that is an outstanding track on this album, probably in the film. Although in the film they don't play it for very long, do they? So it is that one there. Come Together by Aerosmith. If you haven't heard it, try streaming it or something. It's a really, really, really good version of that song. In fact, there is some good versions of Beatles songs on this album. Uh, and now the next one's a bit weird because you've done that, and number 9 is show a favourite song that was covered by the Beatles. So it's a cover version that the Beatles did. Um, Again, there's so many, isn't there? So I've gone for a song that was on Beatles for Sale in the UK, and I think it was on Beatles 65 in America, and it is. It is. Where is it? No, it's on here. Side 1, track 4, rock and roll music. Just let me hear some of that rock and roll music. Any old way you choose it. You got a fast beat, you can bruise it. Any old way you choose it. It's gotta be rock and roll music. If you wanna dance with me. If you wanna dance with me. Da da da. I didn't want to go with the obvious ones like Twist and Shout and things like that. So I think that is a fantastic version. I think John liked singing the sort of like old rock and roll sort of like songs, didn't he? I mean, he did make an album of them when he was a solo artist, didn't he? That's probably for another video. Uh, so that was number 9. Right, number 10. Again, this is one that makes you think. Right, you've got to show the last. Show the worst 3 songs that the Beatles ever wrote. Well, everybody's going to say Revolution number 9, aren't they? Well, I'm not going to show you. I'm just going to tell you what they are. The 3 songs I don't particularly care for in the Beatles catalogue, although I do like them, but not as much as I like all the rest of the songs, if that makes sense. The first one is Obladi Oblada, which was featured on the White Album, and I think even John, George, and Ringo didn't think much to that song, did they? Um, I sometimes I do like it, and other times I don't like it. And it seems to get played a lot on certain radio stations and things like that. But in all honesty, I don't think it's the best song that Paul ever wrote, and I don't think it's the best song that the Beatles ever recorded. Again, that is just my opinion. The second one is Dig It from Let It Be. Now, is that really a song or is it a jam? It's more of a jam. The snippet that is on Let It Be is not very good at all. If you listen to it in its entirety, which was about 8 minutes, it does make a little bit more sense. But again, it's not something you're going to want to play every single day of your life. Um, and then the third one is Maxwell's Silver Hammer from Abbey Road. Again, I do like the song, but I don't think it's one of the best songs the Beatles ever wrote. Is it? Bang bang, Maxwell's silver hammer went down across his head. It's about a murder, isn't it? Again, these are just my opinions. You've got to put 3, and you've got to say why. So that's why. Number 11 is show the last Beatles product you bought. Record, CD, book, etc. But the last actual Beatles product I bought was This, the Beatles 1964 US albums in mono, and I did go for the box set. I did actually have all the albums in the collection anyway, but I just got it because it was a nice way of getting some really, really nice, up to date, super sounding and super quality renditions of the American albums. And I got mine for bargain compared to what some people pay for it. I think you had to pay more in America, didn't you, for the box and the Beatles story. In the UK, I got that box set, and it worked out cheaper than buying the individual albums. Only just, but it did. Um, right, so right, 12. Show an ongoing Beatles collection that you are trying to complete. Uh, to be honest, I would say my Beatles record collection. All this behind me. I've got hundreds, if not thousands, of Beatles albums. I've got, all the UK records, most in mono and stereo. I've got a lot of the American albums. I've got a lot of the German albums. I've got some Canadian albums and things like that. But will I ever be able to finish collecting all the Beatles records that they've made or been released around the world? It's a never ending thing. As soon as you think you've got everything, you'll see something on the internet, or you'll see a video on another, Beatles YouTube channel, and you think, well, I ain't got that, you know. And I'm on about the original copies, not like bootlegs and things like that. So that is what I'm going to try and do. Whether I will ever complete it, I don't think I ever will. The only other thing is, I've got a couple of these Sergeant Pepper tops. I've got this blue one and I've got a green one. So maybe in the next year I will get the other two colours, which um, is it red and orange or something? I can't remember, to be honest. Um, so I might get the other two of the Sergeant Pepper, you know, jackets. Um, Show a prized possession in your Beatles collection and tell a story. Um, Mine is quite easy. I did give you a little hint earlier on when I showed the Get Back single off my friend Mr. Ellie from Mr. Ellie Records. So if you haven't subscribed to his channel, please do. It's a fantastic Beatles channel. And in April of last year, 2024, we actually met. He came to the UK. He got in touch with me. He says, Dave, I'd really like to meet you, shall we meet up? He came to Derby. He met me and Sue. We took him out to a Beatles themed pub. And we had I think we had two drinks in there. Then we went and had a cup of coffee, if I remember rightly. Then we went for something to eat. We had dinner. And then we ended up in another coffee shop. And, we was only together for a few hours. But by the time we took him back to the train station, he got on the train, it was like we'd been bosom buddies, really, really good friends for years and years and years, which we sort of have been over the internet, like for the past like 3 or 4 years. But to actually meet him and talk to him and, things like that, and, you know, he was telling me some of the things he'd done in the past. I was telling him some of the things I'd done in the past. Like I say, he did bring me the Get Back, Don't Let Me Down single from Israel, and he also brought me the Magical Mystery Tour. And this is a very, very rare Israeli pressing. Um, I don't really want to get it out, but I suppose I should show you what it is like, because it's in one of these resealable sleeves. So, if you seal that now, then I can't do any harm. So it is a greeny single sleeve, so it's not a gatefold sleeve. You do get long play 33 MR records. You get the gramophone trademark, um, mono and stereo. It says on here, but the catalogue number is SMAL 2835. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, because I think some of these have been featured in a video I did over Christmas, so but I didn't show you this one. But the interesting about this is, although it's got the American catalogue number, it's actually on parlophone. So that is my treasured possession. And it has got, it's got meaning to it. It's one of the meetings of a lifetime, really. I mean, he lives in Israel, and for him to come and see old Beatle Dave and Derby, it was an honour to meet him, and I will always treasure that copy of Magical Mystery Tour and the copy he gave me of Get Back and Don't Let Me Down. Number 14 is show your favourite Beatles product from 2024. Well, I could have done the Beatles in mono again, couldn't I? But I thought, no, we'll do a shout out to this. This was for National Album Day in the UK, which I'd never heard of. And it is a reissue of the UK pressing of A Hard Day's Night in stereo. But the nice thing about this is it is on white vinyl, and it sounds amazing. It really does sound amazing. Um, it was pretty expensive though. I think this was 40 something pounds, so it is a nice thing to have. But whether it's worth 40 something pounds, saying it's supposed to be a limited edition, but they don't tell you how many was in that limited edition. But yeah, it's really nice sounding LP. And again, when I went to fetch this, I met up with my mate Terry Mann, and we actually queued outside HMV to get this. So again, it has got some nice memories. And the last question is question 15. What Beatles product would you like to see coming in 2025? Well, again, everybody's going to say the obvious, aren't they? The Rubber Soul Deluxe Limited Box Set super duper thing. Are we going to get that or not? I don't know. So I've gone for something a bit different. As I live in the UK, originally we never got the Beatles cartoons that you got in America. Um, and I know you can get like bootleg copies of them on DVD and things like that, but I would like to see the complete Beatles cartoon series released on DVD or Blu-ray. That is what I would personally like. Uh, that's the kid in me, you know. When I was younger, my dad was born in the war, so whenever cartoons was on, we just used to sit there and laugh our heads off. Um, but I would love to see that. There's a few that you can see on YouTube, but to get the whole collection, I think would be really nice. And I think, if I remember right, I think Apple do own the rights to them now, so maybe that is something that might come sooner or later, or probably never. I don't know, but that is something that I would like to see, as well as the obvious like the Rubber Soul box set and things like that. But I just thought I'd say something that I would personally like to see. So that is it. That is the 15 questions. I've tried to do it as quick as I can. So if you've liked this, please leave me a thumbs up. If you've got any comments, obviously please leave them. Remember, it's just a bit of fun. If you have got your own YouTube channel and you like the Beatles, please join in. Let's get Patricia some, nice, um, views and comments and things like that. She's a wonderful lady. She's a first generation Beatles fan. She's got some lovely stories, and I take my hat off to you if I'd got one on, Patricia, because I don't think I would have been able to do this. I know Rachel has encouraged you to do it, and I think you've done a really good selection of questions, and I've really enjoyed doing it. So come on, people, join in. And that's it. So good luck, Patricia. I hope you've all enjoyed this video, and let's give some love to the Beatles community out there. That's it, folks. Cheerio. See you again soon. Bye.